But before that, this evening's top story. The G.A.A. in Tyrone is to hold an investigation after violence erupted at a senior county final match yesterday.
The fighting began between players on the pitch and then spilled into the stand. Children attending the match were said to be terrified.
Carrickmore Gaelic Football Club has condemned the violence. Niall Donnelly reports.
These were the violent scenes that broke out yesterday in the Tyrone All-County League Division 1 final between Carrickmore and Dromore. Keen rivals, the match was played at the neutral venue of Erupted near Ballagawley. Fighting broke out among some players on the pitch in the closing stages of the game, which Dromore was leading, and that violence soon spilled over into the stand. After the brawl, which led to the game being held up for 10 minutes, 2 Carrickmore players were sent off. Dromore eventually won the match. There was a large crowd of people at this match yesterday afternoon, and many of them were children. People who were at the game have told me that the youngsters were terrified as the violence erupted around them. I'm also told that at one stage an umbrella was being used as a weapon. Sinn Féin MLA Barry McElduff, who is a member of the Carrickmore club, was at the match and saw what happened.
I don't know what was the absolute start of that, but what I did see upset me personally. It upset a lot of men, women and children at the game. It's a scene that I don't ever want to see repeated at any sporting fixture, not least a Gaelic football match.
The Tyrone G.A.A. County Chairman, Kieran McLaughlin, says he is deeply annoyed and disturbed by the violence and the fact that supporters also got involved.
Unfortunately, when emotions are on high, situations can occur. We try to contain them obviously within the field, but when it does involve spectators, and I mean there were women, there were children, there were other men there who were equally as disturbed with what was happening. Now, when you have people frightened by what's happening off the field, never mind on it, it's not acceptable. And Tyrone have played upward of 2,000 games, so this is one isolated incident. Of course, it was one of our high-profile games. Of course, it needs to be severely dealt with, and within the rule book of the G.A.A. we will do that.
Today in Omagh, which is close to Dromore and Carrickmore, there was strong criticism of what happened at the match.
There need to be strong sanctions against it, you know, if they know who was involved. So maybe it would deter them in future.
What happened was there's young children, women, and a whole lot of just disgraceful.
A lot of the trouble was in the stands. You know, general fighting, which is obviously terrible to look at. Terrible picture in the G.A.A. overall.
Back in June, and again in Tyrone, a referee and another match official were knocked unconscious at the end of a ladies' Gaelic match. That happened after a game between Carrickmore and St McCartans. Following that, 2 men received lifetime bans from the G.A.A. Niall Donnelly, UTV Live, County Tyrone.